Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to discuss my fetish with spines and thorns. And I know that's probably weird, but I actually have 7 different species of tree with either spines or thorns. So this first one is a Carissa grandiflora, also called natal plum. And this is a bunjin in training that I worked on before, so you can watch the video of me working on this guy. And actually I think I have an update too. So I will also add a playlist in the description where you can watch all the videos on this guy. As a bonsai, they don't make spines because you're always trimming them back. But these are the spines of the ones that are in the ground. And as you can see, they split into 2. And as they mature, those 2 splits will split yet again. So here's another one right here. A spine that split into 2. And then they split again. And these are pretty soft because it's new growth. But once they harden, they are just plain nasty. So as a bonsai, it's not that big of a deal because you're pinching back the new growth, and the spines only really occur as growth elongates. So that's Carissa. The next one is Clerodendron. And this is a tree in training that is part of 10 that I did. And it's at that point where I'm letting it grow way out and then cutting it back and letting it grow way out and cutting it back. And this is another, it has some thorns here, but they're not easy to see. So I took a piece from a couple I've got in the ground. And as you can see, they're very small. But these are quite nasty little thorns. And this is a difficult tree to work with because it's almost impossible to get those thorns off of there. If you look, there's 1, 2, 3, all the way around. So pretty difficult to get them babies to stop poking you. So that is Clerodendron, sometimes also called by its Spanish name, I can never pronounce it, Escambron. Clerodendron. They probably are the worst as far as being unable to remove the spines. The next one is Bougainvillea. And this is a tree that I also have worked on, and I know I'm going to need to bring the camera up. I worked on it in the past, and this is another one that if you're working it on a regular basis, the spines don't manifest. However, got some in the ground, and there's the spines on Bougainvillea. Nasty little guys. I hate wearing gloves, but I wear gloves under 2 conditions. One is if they have a lot of nasty sap, and the other is spines like this. I hate to bleed. And I am going to feature this guy probably even tomorrow because he needs a cut back. He's doing beautifully, but Bougainvillea is another one that even though they produce nasty thorns, a bonsai typically will not trouble you with the thorns. Okay. Next, we have Desmodium. And I don't have any finished Desmodium, but I have some that are coming along quite nicely. And as you can see, these are probably the longest spines of any plant that I grow. And when they're young, the new growth, they're very supple, but then when they harden off, man, they're just like needles. Here's another one that's kind of curved. They are definitely a spiny guy. This is another one though that you can remove the spines once it's a bonsai and you won't have that much trouble with it. So that is Desmodium. I'm not sure of even the common name of this guy. If you know, leave a comment. The fifth one is Brazilian rain tree. And this is another tree in training that you can also watch the video. The bougainvillea is still in the frame. You can watch the video on this guy. I did have some wire that cut into the bark, which I'm very disappointed in because, boy, you can really see it. And it has some small spines, but here is the mature spines. This is actually on a dead piece, but Brazilian rain trees are also just wicked, wicked spines. But it's another one that you can remove the spines, and then as you're training it as a bonsai, the spines are not that big of an issue because you're constantly cutting off the new growth. But Brazilian rain trees, I think Desmodium actually has longer spines, but these are harder and nastier. There's no doubt about that. So that is Brazilian rain tree. The next one is one that I'm not sure I've even featured. This is called Sagittarius. Sagittarius thugens, also commonly called Chinese sweet plum. It blooms, it's interesting because it blooms in late fall, like November, and the flowers are incredibly fragrant. And this is another one that it produces some spines. There's some little spines in here. Probably a little difficult to see, but when you let them elongate, there's the spines. And actually, if we take the bougainvillea, unless you knew the difference, pretty similar. Bougainvillea, Sagittarius. Pretty nasty, both of them. But once again, easy enough to keep from getting spines by just continually maintaining the new growth, cutting it back, and the spines won't form. And then last but not least, believe it or not, this is parrot's beak. And this is another one that only really produces the spines, which are also quite nasty when the trunk elongates. And there's actually leaves on the spines, which is pretty weird. And these spines here are opposite, which is interesting. All the other, the Sagittarius and the bougainvillea, the spines were alternate. So parrot's beak will produce pretty nasty spines. But once again, in bonsai culture, the spines will never get this long. Only in training. I've got some trees in the ground that I'm trying to get really thick, and this is a cutting that I just chopped off a few minutes ago. Nasty, nasty spines. And spines are an evolutionary phenomenon that occurs in tropical areas where there's a tremendous amount of competition. So as spines evolved, it was a survival technique for trees that were able to fend off things that wanted to eat it. Pretty hard to climb something like this when it's got this kind of spines. So there you go. 7 different species. Carissa, chlorendron, bougainvillea, desmodium, Brazilian rain tree, Sagittarius, and parrot's beak. So thank you so much for watching. That's the end of this video. I am going to go tomorrow and trim up that boogie because it needs it, and it's coming along nicely. So that'll be my next video tomorrow. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I usually say you can watch this plant develop, although actually all of these cuttings here that I've taken to show you just how nasty they are, they're all going in the garbage. Yard trash is today, so we're not saving this stuff. But all of these trees, even with the spines, make fantastic bonsai. So the beauty is that the spines typically just don't manifest as long as you're giving your bonsai the care they deserve. So, did I already say like? I always do that. I end the video and then I start rambling. So subscribe. Oh yeah, that's right. Hit the notification bell and you can watch me work on trees again in the next few videos. And like I said, I will leave links to all the trees that I've showed you that I have worked on, that I have videos in the upper right corner when they appear. And so that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching my fetish with spines. So I will see you in the next video.